Hey guys, here we are again with another story. Today's going to be from the Disney Pixar Monsters world, Spooky Sleepover. It was a quiet morning at Monsters Incorporated. James P. Sullivan was looking over the monthly laugh reports. Sulley was the president of Monsters Inc. Suddenly the phone rang. "Hello?" Sulley said. "It's dispatch." Annual, the voice at the other end of the line said. "Annual slumber party at little Sally Brown's house. Waxford is out sick. We need a replacement." Sulley thought about who to send. He wanted to send his best monster on the case. He smiled to himself. Who better for the job than his friend Mike Wazowski? Mike could make anyone laugh. He was the top laugh collector at Monsters Inc. Sulley knew his best friend would be the perfect choice. Mike was in the locker room getting ready for work when Sulley walked in and explained the situation. "I'm your man," Mike said confidently. "Great," Sulley exclaimed, whistling. He went back to his office to finish his laugh reports. "A room full of kids collecting laughs will be a piece of cake," Mike said as a door slid into his station on the laugh floor. Mike opened the door and walked through the closet in Shannon Brown's room. It was empty. "Hello?" Mike called. He looked around and peeked under the bed, but there was no one there. Just as Mike started walking toward the closet, he heard laughter. "All right, now we're talking. Kids, prepare to roll with laughter," said Mike. Just then, a flash of lightning lit up the dark room and thunder cracked across the sky. Mike jumped. If there was one thing that scared him, it was thunderstorms. Job or no job, he was getting out of there. Mike raced back to the closet, but when he opened it, he was standing in a normal closet, not the laugh floor. Mike realized that the lightning must have broken the door. He knew what he needed to find. He knew he needed to find the slumber party and another closet door fast. Heading into the dark hallway, Mike tried to follow the sound of laughter. The floor creaked spookily beneath him. Mike stopped and looked around. The wall was covered in creepy paintings of people. They all seemed to be staring right at him. "I've got to get out of here," Mike muttered to himself. Then he saw something scary that made him freeze in his tracks. Sitting at the end of the hall was a large, furry creature with fangs. Thinking this creature was a fellow monster, Mike started to walk closer, relieved. Suddenly, the creature jumped on him, knocking him down. It wasn't a monster, it was a dog. "Ah!" Mike screamed. He hated dogs. Mike pushed the dog off him and ran into a nearby room, then slammed the door shut. He was safe, for now. Meanwhile, Sulley was working on the laugh floor. "Sulley!" the floor manager shouted, running over. "Mike still hasn't returned from the slumber party." When Sulley checked the door, he found it wasn't working. Mike was trapped. Sulley didn't like the idea of Mike being stuck in Shannon's house. He needed to fix the door now. He quickly brought in a maintenance crew. Together, the monsters tried to get it open properly, but nothing worked. Sulley and the monsters decided to get into Shannon's house using a new door. Finally, it made a clicking sound. It worked. Now the door would open into a different room in the house. Back in the house, Mike opened another door. It led to the bathroom. As Mike searched for the light switch, he tripped on a yellow rubber ducky. "Ouch!" he said as he went rolling across the floor like a ball. Finally, Mike crashed into the wall and came to a stop. Suddenly, he heard giggling from down the hall. Mike did not like this assignment or this house, but as long as he was stuck there, he was determined to find the party. Lifting himself off the floor, He followed the laughter to a door, but when he opened it, the room was quiet. Slowly, Mike entered the dark, silent room. All of a sudden, a light went on. Mike jumped. Shannon Brown and all her friends roared with laughter. They thought Mike looked funny sneaking into the room. Ah! Mike was so scared he couldn't stop yelling. At that moment, the closet door opened and Sulley burst into the room. When he heard Mike screaming, he started screaming too. Mike jumped up into Sulley's arms. The girls at the slumber party laughed even harder. A big blue monster with purple spots hugging a little one-eyed green monster was the funniest thing they had ever seen. Mike and Sulley smiled at each other. Then Mike jumped to the floor, and they both took a bow. The kids cheered. "Looks like our work here is done," Sulley said with a smile. He and Mike headed through the closet door and back to the laugh floor. They had filled so many canisters with laughs that Mike was named the top laugh collector of that day. "I was never scared for a second," Mike said, hoping Sulley would believe him. "Me neither, buddy. Me neither," Sulley replied, his big furry fingers crossed behind his back. Alright guys, that's the end of this story. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. See you tomorrow with another one. Bye.